Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today. Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go, come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico, it's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix! James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars!
On track or off, Brandon Jarsekrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsekrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarsekrakracing.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Oh, what a beautiful sunset and an even better sound as the engines have come to life for the junior class. Groups A and D, heat racing, and the lights are powered on. It's time to go night racing from Newcastle Motorsports Park, one of only 2 times on the year. This racetrack gets lit up, and it's done with the biggest karting race in North America. The Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals kick it off. The juniors are ready for action here. Sawyer Chambers and Brady Shad are getting ready to lead your field to green in a nearly 90-car junior field that has them split in 2 different groups for the heats. It'll take us a moment to get through the entire starting grid. In fact, they're still doing the final checks on that as well, up in timing and scoring. They should release them here in a matter of moments, and we'll be ready to go night racing for the opening round of heat races. And then they get to do it again 2 times over. Round 2, round 3, round 2 will be in the afternoon, round 3 towards the evening.
Going to be a competitive night to see where things stack up for these drivers to start things off well for their respective heat points, to be able to rumble up at the front, start things off strong. It's going to be a busy one, though. I think for these juniors in particular, they are going to be antsy to get on the racetrack. They've been waiting all day for this opportunity to see where they'll stack up here tonight. And it's going to be a competitive one with so many big names ready to shine brightly under the lights.
So as they rocket onto the racetrack now here, Sawyer Chambers starting on the inside of row number 1. Brady Shad starts on the outside. Hudson, Jack Erlin, and AJ Stoner making up row number 2. Isaac Payne and Giovanni Blackerby rolling from row number 3.
Then it's Anthony Lewis alongside Jack Weber, who will start in the 8th position. Christopher Yutze in the 9th position. Liam Plate in the top 10. Carson Benjamin's 98 machine starts on the inside of row 6. Kurt Barkas alongside him, the top 12.
Christopher Yutze, Liam Plate, Carson Benjamin, Carter Barkas, and then onwards with Lage Powers and Shane Smith. Ryan Curl and Isaiah Maxey. Row 8, Leighton Mole, William Richard on row 9, Gavin Dyer, Trevor Clinton. Your first 10 rows for groups A and D in the LYK Junior Division. Joseph Vayette and Christopher Goulet, row number 11. And in total, we have 41. Ethan Langley will be all by his lonesome on that 3rd and final grid lineup page and all by himself on row number 21. So 41 drivers. Not the biggest grid of the day when it comes to the racing. It is one of the bigger 3 classes, and sadly not all 41 drivers you're seeing lined up on screen. Sorry, Tyler Nash Turner rolling from 41st. Not all of them will make it on to the Sunday Grand Final. They all will get to be on track on Sunday, warm-ups, and either an LCQ or a main, or all 4 sessions, a warm-up, an LCQ, another warm-up, and a main. But as the sun works its way towards the horizon, Jason Burgess is ready for night. The ever entertaining flagman, the official head flagman for the Cup Karts North America Championships, and the 4 majors on the year, all building towards the Grand Nationals. And we're going night racing here with Junior for groups A and D. Let's let them loose down to turn number 1. First time by is good. We're racing.
Several drivers sent scattered all across the middle of the field, all coming out of scale corner. This is separated the main pack. Shad amongst those, leading the way with that big gap that's now formed up for some of the chaos. Several drivers trying to signal in the mid pack as all of these drivers like Chambers try to work to try and close these gaps fast that have opened up from the chaos early.
Yeah, that's a big gap that has opened indeed from Sawyer Chambers, who started on the outside of the front row to go back to 3rd. Great start for Elam Stoner in the number 14, pushing away with Brady Shad, the teammates up front. There's Hudson Jack Erlin in the 2-1-4, pushing along with him. One of the many comp karts in the field that looks to be the 44. Is that Blackerby maybe? No, even better better start. That's Carter Barkus up in the number 10. That's going to be a net gain of 5 here at the end of the opening lap. So big time first lap for Carter Barkus as we take a look. Left-hand side of your screen, folks. Watch this. Contact going down through turn number 4 and just kind of going off to the wayside there. Just another look at it. We'll slow it down for you as well. Right around 7th and 8th, just 2 drivers get tagged together, and then everyone has to scatter amongst themselves to avoid them.
Yeah.
So great angle there.
Yeah, just a bit of a tough spot when it comes to some of the side-by-side. You can run side-by-side. We talked about through scale corner there, but in that circumstance, just one little squeeze out on the opening start, trying to get some of the contact. One driver over top of the tire.
Yeah, that is one of the Mark Steele Motorsports machines. That driver is stuck in the grass trying to hurry it out. From inside the top 15, Carson Benjamin spins in the kink on the run to the green corner. And he'll drop all the way to the tail. Brady Shad, Elam Stoner, nearly up to a full second to Sawyer Chambers now. Let's see if Sawyer's been able to make any inroads here at the end of the second lap. If he has, it's been marginal. Penalty flag already going up in the air. Officials already going to work. Here's Carter Barkus back at work in the number 10. This will be another one. Mark him up 7 on the heat so far in just 2 laps. 6 of those on the opening lap for Carter. And now he sets his sights on this duo, Sawyer Chambers and Hudson Jack Erlin. Another look at the replay here. Yeah, just side-by-side contact. Going down to the kink, just both drivers trying not to give an inch. And just, honestly, both of them involved in the moment there. Obviously, it burned Benjamin more, but playing with fire, getting a little bit too close together. And then once they touched tires, Benjamin was just a passenger right here.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just don't give an inch in this type of situation. Some of these drivers going for late lunges still. Payne amongst those trying to bring the pain with some of these sends. Not in the best spots to do that, though. In fact, going to lose ground because he opened up the door going through scoreboard for 2 drivers to zip on by. Barkus once again amongst those drivers. Barkus is flying through this pack. This has been an impressive drive up from outside the top 10. That Kart at the moment in terms of the lap count, mind you, in terms of lap times, just continues to tick on lap after lap after lap, quicker and quicker. One of the fastest carts on the racetrack.
Yeah, a little bit faster than him last time by was Gavin Dyer in the 405. He's up 6 spots from 19th to 13th. Another couple big movers here. Shane Smith is up 4, and Leighton Mull from 17th on the grid has clawed up to the 9th spot, so that's a net gain of 8. But Carter Barkus is now 4th and looking for 3rd. Sawyer Chambers has that spot as they roll through the horseshoe, and through it all, they really haven't lost too much ground to the top 2 drivers. Brady Shad and Elam Stoner are doing everything they can, everything in their power to make it a 2-horse race, staying in line, pushing it every straightaway. Brady giving full trust to Elam behind to make sure that he doesn't mess up a corner by defending or covering off, or again, in Elam's case, building a lot of trust in his new teammate as well by just pushing along, staying in line, following. And as they'll roll through the shark fin to the last turn, they'll see the cross flags, and we're halfway home already. Heat 1, Groups A and D in LYK Junior, and it's about 8 of them, maybe 9. Another group of 4, but there still is some separation from second onwards, albeit closing down. That was a 2/10 gain for Sawyer Chambers and company last time by, Justin.
Yeah, they've done a good job in terms of close up there, but how long will things last in the status quo with Stoner just riding and biding his time? The gap is gone with Chambers with the help of Barkus. Barkus, remember, amongst those, able to come away with the most wins in the South Division in 2025, and has been able to just help close things up here. Can pick his spots a little bit, but right now you can see the signals from Chambers. Just got to work together as a group. Make sure you gain ground so you can make a send, say, in the scoreboard, and see if you can surprise Stoner and break up these tandem of teammates here. They will try it. They will break it up.
There you go. Sawyer Chambers takes the Coyotes from 1st and 2nd to 1st and 3rd. And how long does he wait now in the Intrepid? Under the bright lights here at Newcastle. because he's got a hungry group behind him, and one of the hungriest in that bright yellow machine, Carter Barkis, on a tear through the pack right now. Let's see if he tries to go for third. Penalty flag coming out again. We stay locked in on the leaders for the moment because anything could happen now that they've finally been reeled in by that second pack. Chambers has a look at the grid corner. Too tight there. Couldn't make it. Now over to 4. Shad with a little gap. Sawyer will get a little shove there from Elam. That'll close it back up. And he stays in second in the run to the horseshoe. This is a bit tougher to make moves in the Briggs 206 classes. You'll see plenty in the cell tower, though, if you want it, and a lot in the infield hairpin. Here's one in the cell tower for you. Carter Barkis to the inside, on through, third now, and 9 spots gained for the number 10.
Impressive for a driver that just recently ran some late model action Auburndale Speedway in the past couple weeks or so for that family. Able to pick up spots here continuously, build upon what's been a good past few months for that family overall. But it's still going to be down to when does Chambers make the move, or does Barkis force him into a move? Already a little bit of contact that time through shark fin on the checkup.
And again, behind him, Hudson Jack Erlin made that move on Elam Stoner for 4th, and you wouldn't know it because what they lost, they quickly caught up with the accordion effect. Here's Barkis forcing the hand of Chambers. He showed a nose. Sawyer hasn't yet taken the bait to try to make the move for the lead. He has been patient there since getting to second. You would have thought he would have made quick work of Brady Shad, but no. Sawyer Chambers has stayed locked on the rear bumper of the 65 up until now. 2 to go. First bit of defense we've seen out of the Brady Shad, and it's about 9 deep now. Leighton Mole has closed up to the main group from 17th on the grid for Mole in that red machine towards the back, one of the Bureau Arts with the green helmet. Looking for an over-under maybe on 8th, Christopher Yeltsin, in the 033.
Yeah, will we see the undercut? We will see a dive, but it's for second, a bit of contact. Barkis had to back out of it. Lucky to hold on to the spot, and that sparked everything in this pack. Starter wants some spots back. Everybody has brought their intensity level up as a result. Barkis may have showed his hand just a touch bit early now and has to reset just to have a chance at second again.
Another driver closing on in on your top 10. Jack Feber there in the 381. He was 8th, so he was kind of a piece of that moment in turn 4 on lap number 1. Meatball flag coming out for one driver to the line. Who is that going to be? Looks to be, well, Jason's going to hold it out for the field to cross on by. We'll try and figure out who we've got that sadly will not make it to the finish. One of the Bureau Arts here inside the top 10. And there's a lot of them between the Steel Motorsports camp and some of the independents as they roll down to turn number 5. Look at this. Defense down the inside.
Oh, look at that, Barkis with the dive on top of it too. Barkis didn't get that to work, actually lost ground as a result to Irwin and company. And now this has built a perfect buffer for Shad. It will take a lot of effort just to get any chance of ascent from this far deep.
Meatball flag coming out for Liam Plate in the number 85. That's the confirmation. 7th across the line last time by. Meanwhile, as Sawyer Chambers and Hudson Jack Erlin continue to duke it out here for second, the frenzy is on for 4th, and the leader is scooting away. Brady Shad driving a flawless race here and getting the corners perfect when it matters the most. Final 2 to go as Sawyer Chambers continues to try to fend off Erlin. Elam Stoner's moved his way back around Barkis. He's gotten to 4th, and a penalty potentially looming for Brady Shad as well. Black and checkers in the air. He'll score the heat win on the racetrack. What will happen after remains to be seen. Shad, Chambers, Jack Erlin, Elam Stoner, Carter Barkis. And there was so much to talk about in that main group. We didn't really get to go too far back in that one. Jack Feber to 10th. Some of the other movers, how about 22nd to 14th? Christopher Goulet in the 644, able to pick up a number of spots. Jonathan Bore also up 23rd to 17th, picking a handful. Matthew Holland up 10, jump start. Brady Shad, 2-position penalty. The 119 also with a tramline violation and a meatball flag for Liam Plate in the 85 will knock 2 drivers out of the top 10, including the provisional race winner, Brady Shad. A jump start penalty will jump him down to 3rd, and Sawyer Chambers on the Intrepid will provisionally move up a spot and into the Heat 1 Groups A and D win. So The eyes are on, and the CKNA officials, they've got not just plenty of eyes around the racetrack, but the full video race control system as well. And unfortunately for Brady Shad, it's going to bite him at least as things stand with a 2-position jump start penalty. Still a great points haul, still on the inside lane, as they would probably move on to heat number 2, but Sawyer Chambers should get credit for the heat race win here in junior.
It's hard when there's a train of like 8 of us. Hey Sawyer, we're chill, right? Dude, I'm the only reason.
Well, we had a good bit to talk about there in the first group. That was only half of them, folks. Junior groups B and C down on the grid getting ready to roll. How about some new colors for Tyrone Kemper Jr. this weekend, pitting with the fellow Louisiana-based race team Reed Motorsports and CRG. And TEKJ finds himself towards the front end of the field here in junior, ahead of Holden Harder there in the number 57, one of many stealth mode Mark Steele Motorsports Bureau Art manufactured entries. Nathan Dupuis, an independent operation this weekend as well in the ND Motorsports blue and yellow Sodi. And for the LYK junior class here, knowing that there were already penalties handed out and for a jump start and tramline violations, they should be, hopefully, on high alert for this session coming up. Try and keep their noses clean. The radios have been hot and active here today, Justin. We have seen that penalty flag out plenty.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times from the contact in amongst some of the battles across the racetrack. Within about a lap, we've seen at least that black and white flag pop up. But it's about making sure you keep yourself in check to limit those mistakes here if you want to be able to succeed as these drivers now rumble on the racetrack.
And I like they're doing that. I like they're setting the tone early, trying to really set a strict standard. If you kind of are a bit too laid back, the drivers will continue to push the limits and it will get out of hand in a hurry. But the officials have been quick with it all. Let's take a look. Groups B and C are beginning to populate onto the circuit, onto the time charts, and ready for action here for their opening heat race. This one, it will find Will Wilkie on the pole alongside Travis Pettit. Sam Tutwiler will start alongside Race Beckman there in row number 2. And onward we go. We are with another nearly 40 driver field. So we're ready for the second of the 2 junior heat races. And they're getting to make their way towards that back section right now.
Yeah, you have some of the drivers like Sam Tutwiler is going to be up towards the front. Derek Largo amongst those in 6 alongside Lucas Randolph. Derek Kidd put up a very good practice and qualifying session. Showed actually some solid speed for somebody that has been around the mid-pack at some of the national events outside of CKNA competition. You have Jacob Scheibel, you have Tyrone Kemper Jr. and Leland Anderson amongst those in the top 10. This field, remember, these carts, 42 deep. A lot of competitors ready to roll. Getting ready for the tram lines. We'll see if there's any drivers that jump the start. There's already some stack-ups at the back of the field. They go and slow down to pace speed. Wilkie again on your right side of the screen. Pettit on the left side of the racetrack coming up. About even coming on through. Green flag is out. We're underway. Just like that, pure chaos already in the opening corners. At least 4 or 5 cars went off the racetrack for a moment as the rest of the field rumbles their way through here, Xander.
Will Wilkie able to get away with the lead early in the 84. Just sliding in behind him there. Travis Pettit on the Mark Steele Motorsports entry, the 29, with a good start as well. Evenly matched as they cross the line. Then it's the 55 of Race Beckman there into 3rd. And just like that, we are quickly starting to go to work to try to build a gap here is Travis Pettit pushing away on Will Wilkie. Single file through the whole first 7. We lost a few down at turn number 1. I believe all were able to continue as it was mainly just off-track excursions. And as they roll down through that infield hairpin, turn number 13, they'll run to the shark fin for the first time. Gap has split back at Derek Wargo around 7th or 8th. Then it's going to be Kemper Jr.'s pack on the CRG. Leads about maybe 10 or 15 of them through the final turn. 1 lap going in the books this time. Will Wilkie leads, or Willie? To the inside looking was Travis Pettit. He tucked right back in. There's one off top of the hill, one of the black and white OTK machines. Back around the mid-20s. The second pack here, Kemper Jr. holding harder with a terrible start, dropping back. Well, actually, sorry, good start for him. My mistake there, was used to a bit more of a shakeup in the middle of the field from Heat 1. This was actually a really good start for the entire front half of the pack in Heat number 2. It was only around the mid-20s. So we got yellows waving, I think, there in the horseshoe.
Yeah, somebody went hard left, spun it out. I think could flip the grass before transitioning over towards 6 to start the run to the horseshoe. But the race lead is on. Pole for Pettit, taking a run on Wilkie, and a new leader as the 84 gets shuffled a second.
I think it was Lucas Randolph. The 327 might have spun right there going into turn number 5. Just dropped the tire a little bit too off to the wayside. Derek Wargo now is going to move up to the 5th spot, making a pass as well on Darren Kidd in the 38. So it's Will Wilkie back to second. Hurricane Trav to the point here under the lights in junior. Then it is going to be none other than the 55 of Race Beckman locking in behind Wilkie. 2 laps now complete, 6 laps to go. Kemper has connected the groups. Penalty flags flying up in the air. As expected, a little bit of contact in the first few laps. But Travis Pettit at the top of the board here as they roll through turns 1, 2, and 3.
Pettit all throughout the session has been extremely quick. 2 more karts off the racetrack with some excursions off this time through the track entry area. All this is with everyone just trying to position himself and think, when is the best time to go? Bit of a defensive line for Beckman that time through 5 up towards 6. Oh, wow. Some of the drivers, like Harder, look to go a little bit more deeper and harder into the corners to take some spots like right there. Harder already moving up amongst the top 7 or so, as the rest of the field, at least the top 6 is keeping it calm. 7th on back is a little bit more antsy, wanting to gain the track position fast.
And again, when the drivers around you are aggressive, if you are as well, you can make up spots. Tegan Schneider's up 3. Ezekiel Height up 3 as well to the 10th position. Let's see if we can find any aggressive moves in the shark fin. This one's tough to pull off. I think you'll see the mostly tucked in line. And again, one big draft train. The driver in front's getting the benefit of the draft. It's hard to be able to make something happen on a big straightaway, but if you get someone to push you, it's possible. We won't see anything here as we put 3 laps down. Travis Pettit continues to show the way over Wilkie and company through turns 1 and 2, over to 3. Single file under the lights here at Newcastle. Travis Pettit shining bright here. Just maybe a bumper length at the most separation through the whole pack. And when it gets this big here, Justin, this is when I get a little bit worried, because it doesn't normally stay this big for too long. Already now, backwards goes the number 9 as Sam Tutwiler down 1 spot. He'll fend off the extra challenge from Darren Kidd, and now Holden Harder will go side by side and cut his teammate a break. Lets him into line. That splits them a little bit. And Derek Wargo in the bright yellow and blue comp cart moves up to 4th. Another spot forward for the number 2 plate. That's 3 up from 7th on the grid. But still, Travis Pettit, Will Wilkie locked up front. Nothing there. Race Beckman right behind.
Yeah, nothing doing so far when it comes to a change back on Pettit. And Pettit, remember, driver in KA junior competition, has already picked up a championship in that side of things in 1 series, picked up a 2nd in another series, has just been that dominant this season in his karting circuits. So he is not the easiest driver to out-strategize up here in this field. Already just past the halfway mark. We'll say some of the other drivers like Dupuis doing a very solid job again, and independent for this weekend for Nathan Dupuis.
He's up 4, started 12th. And the Sodi machine is looking good now with another orange go-kart there, and Kemper now right behind trying to push him back up to that next group. That's tailed off by Holden Harder. You can see kind of the up and down movement. 3 up for Derek Wargo, 2 for Harder, 4 for Dupuis, 3 up for Ezekiel Height in the number 48. That was a really good look as well at the difference in roll speed Nathan Dupuis had coming out of the cell tower corner, because you're full on the gas pretty much all the way to the green turn, a little blip of the throttle, and then right here is when you kind of get back on the binders. That's the tightest corner really on the racetrack, is that scoreboard hairpin, because you have so much speed coming in. At least feels relatively tight from behind the wheel. Problems for Derek Wargo. Big moment there coming out of the shark fin, had his hand in the air like the motor stalled. And I don't know if he's got a problem, but the field's going to assume so as he looks over at the motor. Wargo pointing at it, not sure what's gone wrong. And Derek Wargo is dropping like a rock now to turn 1 side by side with Kemper. Tyrone trying to not be bitten too far back by it. One driver's going to get trapped behind him. One of the Coyotes, it looked like, had nowhere to go. And I think that's Jacob Scheibele. He does find a way by. Goes all the way back there to now the TB cart of what looked to be maybe Marcus Wolford, Leland Anderson. And Wargo continues to slip backwards here. Something amiss on the number 2 comp cart. And he's just trying to hang on for dear life at this point.
Yeah, keeps trying to make adjustments. Now is trying to give signals to the field. Hey, I've got a problem. Got to find a way around me. Unfortunate for Wargo, who is having a solid run here. All you can do is go back to tomorrow and hope that you fix that issue. Speaking of drivers having issues, Harder dropping some tires. All well, we come to 2 laps to go. The top 4 from that have been able to build up about a 5 car length buffer over the rest of this pack to be able to control things here as a result of Wargo's misfortunes.
Yeah, it almost looks like for Derek Wargo, it's not necessarily misfiring, but it's like there's not enough fuel in the bowl of the carburetor, and whenever he goes through a long load corner, the fuel sloshes off to the side. It's not going down the line into the rest of the engine. So whatever the issue is for Derek Wargo, it's magnified by a lot of these long 180s as Nathan Dupuis now makes a move. That was a slick one right there at the grid corner. Move him back up a spot. That was on Darren Kidd for the 5th position. Nathan Dupuis hunting 7 spots up from 12th on the grid. Ezekiel Heights also up 6 there from 13th. And your front row are still 1st and 2nd here with 2 laps to go, but the timer is ticking down. Race Beckman on the Margay chassis there in 3rd. The American brand, one of many American brands in attendance here this weekend, trying to do him proud, but it sounds like as he goes under pressure from Sam Tutwiler here for 3rd, he may have a penalty looming as well. So Race Beckman still trying to hang on to P3. Tutwiler's not going to let him have it. He'll complete that move in the scoreboard hairpin. And 4th on the racetrack, maybe even worse for wear for Race in the 55. Coming to the white flag, the top 2 finally. All the hard work, all the patience for Will Wilkie after losing the lead and pushing Travis Pettit might pay off. 1 to go, and they've got room for Will to open up his hands at any given corner when Pettit defends to try to find a way around him. Had he had a driver on his tail, he would be forced to defend the inside just when the leader would. But Travis Pettit's not yet shown any bit of pressure or let it get to him. Will Wilkie continues to tell him to go forward. And he's going to build a lot of faith, because a lot of times, Justin, you see the driver behind sell the leading driver a dummy. Say, no, keep going, hit your line, I'll push you. And then they pass him the very next turn. Will Wilkie's not doing that. He's buying himself a lot of respect here out of, like you mentioned, already a 2-time champ on the year and a top competitor, a multi-time national race winner, Travis Pettit. Will Wilkie pushing him along down to the green turn, locking them both in for a solid points haul from heat number 1.
And I think that's what Wilkie's thinking about here. If he wanted to make the move, he would have made it right there this time through your green corner or scoreboard. Doesn't make it this time, is electing to just take the heat points and take the starting position for the progressive heat for tomorrow and go from there unless something drastic opens up here. Wilkie knows he's got speed, but he's happy on the run here as the black flag gets furled out.
Yeah, black and checkers marking an unofficial finish. Wilkie will make it exciting as he pulls out at the line, but it'll be Travis Pettit scoring the Heat 1 win in Groups B and C. Check out this drag race to the line. Jacob Scheibele with no help will lose a spot at the line. Tegan Schneider will get the better of him to get that 9th spot away. Gage Shipley on the Speed Tech TB was pushing along. He almost got past Scheibele. 5,000 shy at the stripe for P10. Yeah, the black flag with the checkers signifying unofficial results, as in the results will be modified by penalties already confirmed. But as they finished on the racetrack, Pettit, your winner in Group B and C, heat number 1 for junior. Travis Pettit to Will Wilkie, Sam Tutwiler, Race Beckman, Nathan Dupuis. But again, Beckman, we're hearing a penalty looming for the number 55. Darren Kidd, Ezekiel Height, Tyrone Kemper Jr., Tegan Schneider, and Jacob Scheibele, your top 10.
It's just.
Kart's getting cleaned up. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Kart Chaser from Newcastle.
Florida kart racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure of the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft, and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome. From Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
$62. That's the total number of drivers on the entry list for Senior Heavy, and it'll be the biggest heat race on the evening. All 62 of them onto the racetrack now, and at the helm, it'll be the 919 PPK Coyote of Christopher McKeithen starting on the pole. Eric Fagan joins him on row 1. Randall Potter and AJ Roderick, a veteran, all row number 2 here, Justin.
Then you have Clay Settles that looks to not settle. Christopher Wakefield starts next to him in row number 3. Eli Fox has looked good in his races this weekend so far at 7th. Jerry Fandry will round out your top 8.
Sean Meyer, Owen Lloyd, couple of drivers who have won on some of the biggest stages before, back on row 5, and the same goes for row 6. One of the original CKNA Grand Nationals winners, Justin Wishart on the outside, James Overbeck on the inside. Hunter Bolton and Chris Carroll, an all-Coyote, row 7 over Gabe Sessler, Jamie Bradford, Brady Atwood, Jeff Dollian, Nick Sobiek, and Adriana Yanuzzi on our first of 4 total pages of starting lineups here. There's a lot of them, and we'll show you again where your favorite driver may start. Here's a look from 21st back to 40th, and the drivers keep on going. Ryan Curtin, Mark Steele, front runner of this event, buried in the pack, 42nd for the number 34. Long road forward for him. And again, the final row off the list, Katie McDaniel, Justin Johnson, 61st and 62nd on the lineup. 8 laps for a Coyote Chassis senior heavy. On the right in the blue, white, and black Coyote is Christopher McKeith, and on the left in the green and white, Tony Kart, Eric Fagan. They're looking at Jason Burgess for the all clear for the green flag for Heat 1. We've got it. Elbows out of the rumble, brings the action down to the horseshoe for the first time. McKeithen with a good getaway, and off the racetrack goes Owen Lloyd with a big moment, and there's contact. Chris Carroll on top of one driver in the front of the middle of the field, and a spinner there. The 34 Mark Steele's involved. Brady Atwood, the 6, the MGM colliding and stuck with Chris Carroll, who was up on top of him, knocked the air filter off on Atwood. That'll end his night. Only 5 turns in. McKeithen leads them down to the infield hairpin for the first time to Fagan. And a great start for A.J. Roderick in the 56 there to go to 3rd. Clay settles to 5th, right behind Roderick. Looks to be his teammate there, Randall Potter. A.J. Roderick, again, I mentioned Mark Steele having a team and having a number of drivers to work with to support, and then getting out behind the wheel himself. Roderick no different there, and he's doing a great job captaining the ship there in 3rd, side by side for 5th. Clay settles under pressure, looking for its Wakefield. The young buck's going to get through, and trying to follow was Eli Fox. He will get her done on the MGM. The 122 moves to 7th now for Settles in the number 4. Christopher McKeithen continues to show the way.
Yeah, McKeithen going to be a tough person to be able to pass yet again with what we've seen speed-wise. But I will say again with Fagan, already built some good momentum for earlier on today in the morning sessions from his races. Then 3 times he's gone to victory lane in a Grand National event. It's going to be the question, will he feel the urgency to go, or will the veteran experience see him take some time, all while some others not taking their time, making some swaps right there in the midst of that. I believe that was Settles.
That was Wakefield.
Yes.
Christopher Wakefield in the 27, move him to 4th. Splits up the RRD duo there in P3 and P4. He's trying to work his way up to his teammate in the lead, a fellow PPK blue and black Coyote. Eli Fox there still 6th. Clay settles 7th to the line. Sean Meyer riding there in the 8th spot, watching on. Here's a look for Fox, looking to go on Randall Potter, not going to happen. And Fagan continues to work with now a budding double Grand Nat star here in Christopher McKeithen. And as you mentioned, now backing up his Canadian championship for the 2nd year in a row. Little movement there, back for 2nd, back for 3rd. Anyone going to make anything of it? Not into 5. But it's still one big train of go-karts up front. Hunter Bolton now into the top 10, got by Jerry Fandry. And they're catching up to James Overbeck, who's side by side and now on the outside lane with Sean Meyer. Bolton will get through in the 21. Overbeck loses a spot. Owen Lloyd is in the mix there. Remember, he was dirt tracking it on lap 1, trying to make up for lost ground in the 119. Into the green corner. First move for the lead of the night in senior heavy. Eric Fagan makes it stick there. Textbook for the top spot over Christopher McKeithen, but this is dangerous. Edge your seat stuff here for how big this group is. Look at them all lined up. Clay Settles had a look there on Wakefield. Didn't go into the shark fin. Big time send from Overbeck as he goes down the inside on Eli Fox to get a spot. Or no, contact right there. Final turn, 2 drivers together, and that's going to bottle them all up. Looked like it was Bolton on the outside. He'll drop back a couple. Owen Lloyd picks up the pieces. Furled flag for somebody in the middle of that group. 2 by 2. Henry Wheeler's in the mix of it there in the red suit on the O plate.
Yeah, the use your head signal coming out from Jason Burgess right there because of some of this aggressiveness popping up. It's the same thing as the Be Nice sign. You need to be careful if you want to avoid getting race control. Step on in. Speaking of which, that's not friendly.
Nope, 2 drivers didn't want to give it up. Jamie Bradford, Hunter Bolton side by side. Bolton into the grass. He'll recover, end up around middle of the field. That's Nagisa Yoshikawa moving past him there on the Sodi. Side by side as well as the 21 gets shuffled to the outside in the cell tower. Back up front. Fagan still the leader to McKeithen. Roderick, here's the middle of the pack. Back to Fandry there, right closing in on Henry Wheeler, trying to reconnect this group. Christopher Wakefield has him. Clay Settles under pressure from Overbeck. Big set down the inside from James. He'll hang on to it there. He got a lot of help from Eli Fox. And again, Owen Lloyd, while he was the driver getting shuffled to the wayside twice now, he's watched the seas part in front of him and picked a gap perfectly. The 119 has gone from down 3, down 4 spots, up about maybe 5 by the time they hit the loop. McKeithen back to the lead. Penalty flag in the air. Chaos reigning here in Senior Heavy. We expected nothing less with 62 drivers on the circuit at one time, and we're still only halfway in. 4 laps in the books now. Christopher McKeithen back in the lead. Fagan second. Roderick and Potter still hanging on there in 3rd and 4th, and 5th in line. Christopher Wakefield in the 27.
And Wakefield's been uprooted a couple times. Picking up, uprooted. Oh my goodness, over Potter on top of a cart for a moment. Sends off his competitor.
Eric Fagan, Randall Potter on top of Eric Fagan, fighting for P2 in the cell tower and horseshoe section. Randall Potter goes back to around maybe the early teens as Fandry's going to get by. So will Gabe Sessler and Jeff Dalian. And now AJ Roderick ends up behind Christopher Wakefield. More contact. Exit the green corner. 3, 4, 5 cars collected. And there's more as they scatter amongst themselves on the run to 13. A number of drivers out. Sean Myers involved in the 30. Trying to figure out who else is involved there in the green turn headed through turn 11. It was only a matter of time with that many fast drivers all on top of each other. McKeithen looks back to Wakefield. Says, let's do Charlotte over again. Overbeck is now up to 3rd, and Owen Lloyd says, that's enough. I need to be the one to get back to these guys. I've charged my way all the way from 10th back to 15th, now back up to 4th, and he needs AJ Roderick's help to do it, along with Eli Fox. Otherwise, those 3 PPK Coyotes are going to stay in lockstep here for these next 3 laps and close a 1-2-3 finish from 1st, 6th, and 11th on the grid. McKeithen at the point here, and back from 6th. There's Henry Wheeler escaping the fray in 7th. Jerry Fandry has had a crazy roller coaster race. He still ends up a net gain of all of 0. Started 8th, still in 8th. Wheeler, on the other hand, up from 26th. And Bryce Frank has cracked the top 10 now as Fox goes by Roderick. Bryce Frank started 40th. He's up 31 spots to the 10th position, or to the 9th position in the 17.
Which is a bit surprising when it comes to Frank because he didn't have necessarily the best of qualifying at all when it came to his performances there. Just been able to pick off spots with all the craziness that's happened here. Some of the other drivers here, like Lloyd, like Fox, trying to coordinate here as they'll get the 2 sticks up in the air, popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go.
2 laps remaining in a chaos-filled opening heat for Senior Heavy. Jason Rothman up 15 from 25th to 10th. Owen Lloyd still digging, trying to catch the top 3 who are sticking together up front. Eli Fox trying to get to his fellow MGM teammate there in the 4th spot and push him forward. Still got a bit of an uphill climb to get there. Henry Wheeler, 19 spots gained in the 0 for Mark Steele Motorsports. An abysmal qualifying for last year's senior medium runner-up, 26th, up to 7th. That'll do for the opening heat, especially with how many fast drivers have now gone to the scales early or are sitting on the side of the racetrack. McKeithen, Wakefield, Overbeck, and unless someone plays spoiler, they'll stay that way, but I think we got some good odds of Owen Lloyd playing spoiler. Look how much that South Georgia Karting MGM closes in through the shark fin. We've got a fight looming here coming to the white flag.
Yeah, as already last time by for reference was running the 1:14.2s. He was a 10th quicker than the leaders. Now he's just within 2 kart lengths of the leaders, down to under 7/10 of a second. Ran the same pace as the leaders, though just about equaled that time by for the white flag. Now it's the question, can he find a way to get the whip for the draft for the triple kart tandem? Going to be so difficult to close it up without help. Fox isn't closing up enough. The teammates aren't squabbling to give him that advantage either to be able to gain.
They're doing exactly what John Seglem wants to see. Working together, keeping the brand out front, keeping the 3 of them up front in the fight for Sunday. Lloyd will still take this one. This will still be a great result. Could have been a whole lot worse, and it was a whole lot worse for a lot of the potential Sunday contenders. AJ Roderick fell back to 6th or 7th, by the way, last time. So it's 20 spots now up for Henry Wheeler, and the Mark Steele Motorsports camp have to be happy with that one, albeit a bummer to start this race with Mark Steele going around. Lloyd's going to get right up to him here through the infield section. I don't think he'll be able to do anything with it. He'll have a 4th to show for all this hard work and a ton of pace. But to the line, black and checkers in the air. Wakefield's going to have a run at McKeithen, but it won't be enough. Christopher McKeithen holds for the Heat 1 win in senior heavy. On to Wheeler, Roderick, Fandry, Bryce Frank. Have yourself an evening. 40th to 9th for the number 17. Logan Stevens picks up 14 to go to 10th. Tyler Dolick up from 23rd to 11th. 12 spots gained. 18 spots gained. Ryan Miller from P30. How about Christian Savaglio? Represented Canada well. Just missed the first screen here of the results, but he made it up to 16th from 46th. 30 spots up for him. And he ends up getting the hard charger just by a hair. Actually, no. Adam Maxwell from 50th to 17th. Whole lot to break down here in this chaotic opening heat in senior heavy.
You. We were gumming. I just couldn't close the gap to you. We were running like identical times, but I just wouldn't suck up.
Alex DNF.
You were in green corner after you went around me. Sessler sent it in on you.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but I heard complete carnage on us.
Yeah, I don't know. I ended up being alright, but
yeah, we had like a 10-second gap after that.
Bryce, talk about that race. 40th to 9th, 31 spots gained. Tell me about it.
I can tell you this car is rolling. It's probably like, it's really quick. It was just hooked up from the start, and like I just kept my head down. I tried to push as hard as I can throughout the whole race, and I mean, I made it up to 10th. So great job from me and my tuner for sure, helping me tune this go-kart to where I need it.
And talk about the carnage throughout that race, right? Just kind of picking and choosing lanes, inside, outside. How difficult was it to just make it through with your nose clean?
Oh yeah, like green corner, there was like 4 go-karts in the middle of the track, like stopped. So I can't believe I avoided that and got through the carnage. But I mean, that helped me out through the race. But this cart's rolling. I think we have the speed to win it.
There you guys have Bryce Frank. Great recovery drive and confident heading into tomorrow.
Bryce Frank, again, would have been the hard charger with that kind of drive, up 31, except for Adam Maxwell went from 50th into the mid-teens, and there were more stories like him. And the stories are going to continue to write themselves with 3 sessions left on the night. Legends up next here, ages 50 and over, and senior drivers, they're back up again, senior light. And groups A and D, groups B and C coming up here. Goodness, senior heavy, what a show. We'll be back right after this.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tap?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
How's he gonna make weight? Okay, you're good.
Sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound, powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You need it? We got it. At Kart Eat Parts, we are your complete online aftermarket kart part superstore. From chains to bearings to bumpers and components, we've got it in stock and ready to ship straight to your door from our base in Ontario, Canada. Check us out online at karteparts.ca.
We're rolling 48 deep for the class for drivers 50 years of age and older. The Legends have taken to the racetrack for their opening heat race of CKNA Grand Nationals number 9. And we had to confirm a bit of qualifying results for them, so they might be a little bit different than what our live timing showed you. But we do have the official lineup properly set for you per timing and scoring. And of course, you can check it on the official timing app of CKNA Action, the Race Select app making its debut this weekend. So if we take a look to the Legends class and see where they're going to line up here for heat number 1, it should be, well, actually, let me double check this actually myself to make sure that I got this one right. There we go. Todd Bolton on the inside alongside Ryan Cassidy. It'll be Doug Cook back on row 2. Corey Flint on his outside. Tim Shutt, JD Gunn will make up row number 3. And onwards, James Perkins, Todd Barron, Scott Falcone will start in the 9th spot ahead of Jeff Scott. James Insko starts on row 6 alongside Ron Kleiss, Ellie Yanko, Tim Stiefel, and company.
Going to be an interesting race once again for these drivers. Full darkness for them to deal with now. Going to be hard to see your marks at some parts of the track, you could potentially argue, but this is the beauty of night racing. You have to be able to perform at the darkest of conditions and shine brightly through the lights to be able to make sure you've memorized this racetrack to know how you have to perform and where you need to go for these passes as these drivers, lots of people out of line. We have contact.
Yeah, I don't think that'll get to green. I think there's some damage already. Who did we lose there? It looks like it might be Michael Wells, top qualifier from the first group on the Comet Eagle. Spun around in the middle of the pack. He was slated to start around 20th. We'll see if he can get back there. Ron Tipton, the only other driver of the 47 on the list that has not crossed the timing loop. It'll be Todd Bolton on the inside of row 1 alongside Cassidy again. They'll try to see if they can get the drivers behind to hold a better pace than the stop and go action. There's a look on the right side. Yeah, just a bit too antsy to get things going. The Legends were a bit more excited than even some of the kids.
Yeah, I think it was more so just a bit of a stack up where someone wanted to check up, try and get pace speed, and somebody didn't get as quick of a signal. Michael Wells going to have to regain all his positions here. See him just charging to take a spot on the outside and be able to slot back in, hopefully, to be able to reset and be able to put that behind him here. It looks like the field this time is ready to go as they make their way out of I-70. Getting ready for that launch up to the tram lines. We'll see if there's any issues this time, though. did seem like the outside line to your right on screen currently, what will be to the left, looking up the straightaway, had a little smaller advantage. Maybe that's why there was the checkups. A little bit more even this time.
Yeah, trying to keep the balance between the two. Ryan Cassidy on the left in the blue and white. The all-black Coyote, Todd Bolton. Put it on pole by nearly 3/10. Let's see if he can build a margin off that speed. Green flag in the air this time. Yes! We're racing from Newcastle again, this time with the Legends. Rumbling on through turn number 4, first time by. The front of the field able to get away pretty nicely in heat number 1. Few drivers on the edge of the runoff there at turn number 5, but the front of the pack looking pretty neat and tidy on this first lap around. Good start for your front row. Ryan Cassidy and Todd Bolton. What we didn't mention about last year, and when Caleb asked Todd about last year, coming a close second to Cassidy, is the two of them worked together about as good as anyone could on the entire 500-plus driver weekend. They pulled a massive gap in the main event and put on a clinic of teamwork, and then had a great drag race to the finish. A good 1-2 for the pair. Todd Bolton leads them into the shark fin, and already you can see Cassidy has the opportunity to try and do the same thing again here this year with a nice run out of the shark fin now, out of the last turn, the big bowl that sets up the run down the front straight to front straight. Penalty already assessed on the opening lap for someone there, potentially a tramline violation or a jump start of some kind. Bolton, your leader, to Cassidy by 8/10 back to Doug Cook and Corey Flint.
Yeah, and I think part of that might be too, we've seen a similar stack up to the first one involving near where Wells was on the front on the second time around for the start, so that might be where that potentially could come from. All this is with, though, it's going to be difficult for Cook, Flint, Shutt, and Gunn to all close up here because they aren't really suctioning up. They can't really close up fully to each other's bumpers to see if they can tangle together here. And the thing is, that gap is growing rapidly for your top two. They are yet again doing what they did last time, as you referred to, pulling away, and now they're starting to battle more than anything else because Shutt took a little peek, couldn't get around Flint.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his eyes straight on the lead of the race as well, as does J.D. Gunn, as does even Corey Flint, knowing, hey, we need to find something or we need to maybe switch things up because those two, they proved last year they would work together to the last second to build a massive gap over the field and keep the fight between them. They're looking to do the same right now. Pulling away, bolstering the margin, added another 2/10 that time by to Cook's group with Flint, Shutt, and Gunn. Behind them, James Insko runs in the 7th spot. Good gain for him of a couple from 11th on the grid. And then you have to go to Ellie Yanko. I think Ellie may have even gotten around Insko that lap as well. But no changes in your front of the field. Little change here in the second pack. Shutt trying to make the move, stick in the horseshoe. He does. J.D. Gunn's going to pay the price for trying to let it happen. He'll lose one spot there. Going by is Insko in the 117. Ellie Yanko may have been able to even get the better of both of them out of the cell tower. We'll have to wait until we get them back into frame again here in the green corner. And there they are. See Yanko easy to spot. There's Scott Falcone as well in the mix. Now closing in on the 99. Todd Barron on the gold cart in the number 11. 3 wide. Hand signals. Nearly reaching out and grabbing each other. There was Scott Falcone in the 99.
Yeah, not sure what that was all about there in terms of reaching out to each other, but got to be careful in those sequences. That's a little bit dangerous to do that type of handsmanship in the middle.
It's a bit loud to try to talk to someone. You got to use your hands.
Yeah, but you don't expect to give a high five mid-run unless it's the run to a finish like that.
Yeah, we saw a handshake.
Yes, but it's a little bit difficult to, give someone a pat on the back while you're trying to drive past them for position.
Yeah, that part's a little tough. I think what Scott was trying to do was probably to wave to the driver he was alongside with to ask him to back off and cut him a break. They obviously didn't. He's gone backwards. Ellie Yanko there with a mistake. He's going to pay for it with 2 spots. Contact for J.D. Gunn. Again, stuck on the outside. Will lose 1 spot. James Perkins with a big-time send there to try and get some spots on the CRG. He's starting to march forward. The 51 now should have cracked the top 10 with that move on Ron Kleiss. And as we check in with the middle of the field here, Elienko now right behind Perkins. Kleiss then next in line. Then it will be Barron, I think, on the OTK, on the Tony Kart for Todd Barron. Then JD Gunn or Tim Stiefel, one of the two at the back of this group. I think it might be Gunn in the bright yellow and black CRG for LSR Motorsports. Then you've got more of the midfield kind of trailing on. All the while, Todd Bolton and Ryan Cassidy, they're laughing all the way to the bank right now, Justin. 1.8 seconds and counting. We're only 4 laps in.
Yeah, right now, those two just are perfect in terms of their combination together in both their Coyote karts and their chassis. But everybody else, it's still up for grabs for the most part, I think, for positions. Every driver for themselves, if you're able to build up a run, to build up all these points now. Like Kleiss, for example, seems to be looking hungry to try and find something all over the back bumper, hitting the back of Yanko's kart just on the checkup. Some of these drivers want to go, but the thing's going to be trying to find your way out of the box. That is just the draft log that some of these drivers are getting from other karts that is making it difficult for the drivers behind them to build a run, because the driver in front of them has draft to pull them forward and to be able to give them some speed on the straightaway as a result.
Trying to see who else is at a notable run so far. It's tough to tell off the way that the grid all shook out. I mean, for the most part, there's not been too much movement outside of what we've called on screen. There's a look at Elienko and Perkins rolling through the final corner of the racetrack, back to Gunn. Next group is going to be led by John O'Keefe and Michael Wells. That's 13th and 14th, with Kevin Scott in tow and Tim Stiefel in tow. Jamie MacArthur then leads the next pack with Mike Stevenson and Rob Howden, 17th, 18th, 19th. Jeff Chalmers is second back in 20th. Of the 47, we've still got 43 running. Jeff Scott went out on lap 2, and we lost a couple on the opening circuit. Phil Pignataro and Joe DeBover in the 21.
Yeah, for the most part, this field, even with some of the craziness off the jump from that run to the tram lines, it's been relatively tame, as you would expect, for the drivers 50 and over here, where they've been, for the most part, just trying to keep their equipment together. They don't want to use up their equipment. They don't want to be left with a broken kart and a bill to repair said kart. They want to be able to manage said equipment for all the races and for the entire weekend, and then be able to keep using said kart for their future events, because this is, again, a part of their, in some cases, their hobby, a part of their drive as competitors to be able to race on the racetrack. You want to be able to preserve that equipment so you can keep on being a part of fields like this one.
Yeah, there's so much effort that goes into getting to this point. The last thing you want to do is see it go to the wayside. These two karts are going to look unmarked and about as good as they rolled off the truck and trailer combination Thursday morning. Or maybe sat in and didn't roll off until Thursday afternoon. Todd Bolton and Ryan Cassidy with a lap and a half to go, more than 3 seconds up on the rest of the field. They've left, unfortunately, Doug Cook in the dust. He's by himself in third. Tim Schutt trying to track him down. He's closed up a little bit, so there'll be a looming fight maybe for third. Schutt was about 0.2 better last time by than Doug Cook. He closed it down to about 0.8 of a second. Scott Falcone, hand signals, debate, won or lost. He's at least won up some spots. He's gotten to the 5th position in the 99 PPK Coyote. Then it's Corey Flint behind him, following. Then Perkins, then Insco, then Todd Barron, then JD Gunn.
All these drivers at this point separated out up at the front, starting to stagnate together. But this top two is the question. Does Cassidy go for it on the last lap? White flag already waving. Will Cassidy try and take the top spot for himself, or will he just take the spot with Bolton showcasing that that kart has gotten the right setup dialed in with those tire pressures and gear changes you referenced from the qualifying session to be able to be here in the first place?
Again, I think both of them, knowing that they want to be able to do this again on Sunday, are just going to make sure they manage this massive gap they've built up. And there's a lot of notes to be taken for both. When you have the experience of Todd Bolton and Ryan Cassidy each, it doesn't matter if you were leading or trailing. You're going to come away with a whole lot from this race. Todd out in front, knowing whenever he felt a push from Cassidy that he was weaker in that corner because Cassidy was able to get right to him. And Ryan being able to get a first-person perfect angle at where his go-kart and his driving might be a little better or a little worse than Todd Bolton's and make the adjustments for tomorrow. Let's see if they try a run to the line. This was the difference last year, but last year we ran the full straight. We have the cut through this year. Cassidy will make it close to the line. It'll be really close, and it will be Cassidy. Ryan Cassidy steals it by 16 thousandths, and the first time today, Justin, we've seen the man in second be able to get the better of the leader in a head-to-head fight down to the finish line straight.
And it came down to 16 one-thousandths of a second. A close finish. Cassidy timed it up perfectly to get the edge. And even Bolton was like, I cannot believe I just lost this close after being in position and leading the entire way up into the final 20 feet.
So the black and checkers again signaling an unofficial result. Final lap battle as well broke out for P4. Scott Falcone able to get the better of Tim Schutt in that. Move him up another spot for the 99. Good charge for him. Good charge for James Perkins from outside the top 10 to move forward. And as we take a look, Legends to the scale line. Clean up front. Little bit of a mess behind them. But they were well, hardly aware of it. Great race and a great sign of sportsmanship at the front in Legends.
I knew you had me. That fucking top end gear you put on. I knew you had me. I was like, I gotta try it. I was a sitting duck and I knew it the whole time.
Well, Ryan, flashbacks to what we saw last year on Sunday. This time on Friday, sat in second the whole time with your buddy Todd. Tell me about that race.
Oh, it's an awesome race. Todd and I have raced together for years and years. It's always a pleasure to be able to run with him. We figured we could just see if we could get hooked up, stay together, and maybe drive away from the rest of the pack. I think we did that today, but we've got 2 more heats to go and a feature yet, so a lot of work in front of us.
And you're getting pretty good at those drag races to the line, and that's the second one you've gotten on Todd. How does that feel?
Yeah, well, tonight doesn't count. I know he's learning here and listening, so I don't think it's going to be the same come Sunday. So anyway, great racing. Yeah, great racing with Todd.
Yeah, well, there you guys have it. 2 guys in good spirits, and we'll see you guys at the racetrack tomorrow. Back to you, Xander.
Final commercial break on the evening, folks, because we've only got 2 more races left. Senior Light ready to go, assuming, again, it's all good and clean there, and that'll be a tall order for them. Sadly, a slow walk into pit lane for Phil Pignataro and Joe DeBover as they clear the racetrack. Groups A and D for Senior Light ready to cap us off when we return.
I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayKara.com. At ShopPayKara.com, you can get free shipping orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayKara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Groups A and D for heat number 1 and Senior Light onto the circuit. Colin Warren started from 15th and 16th overall after a 30th qualifying effort in Senior Medium. Not the case in Senior Light. He pulled it, and by a lot. 2.5 tenths to the Racing Cajun Cameron Reed. The highest qualifying effort from the ladies so far this weekend, and hopefully she can go 1 spot better in heat 1 on the outside of the first row. Kelvin Zing makes up for a broken rear bumper and happy hour to go to 3rd here for this group's lineup, alongside Aiden Lorenko, Eli Warren, and Dylan Amundsen rounding out row number 3.
Then it's Ian Quinn and Will Lohr who will start in row number 4. Quinn showed flash speed throughout the season. Lucas Beck will start in the 9th position. Josie Chambers in that top 10. David Barnes starts off in row 6. John Treadwell looks to find the treadmill of speed to the front of the field from 12.
Henry Wheeler, Carter Kilgo, Wakefield, and Zerves for a PPK Coyote row that's got speed, but long way to get to the front on row 8. Austin Hill, Tanner DeMaster, Nick Foligno, Jaden Hundal on row number 10 as they roll out of the darkness and back into the lights on the full layout. We'll take a look at the final few starters here for heat number 1, groups A and D. In total, just shy of 45 on the lineup. But a full second page here. Maddox Heacock and Scott Clayman. Back to Bobby Krug in the 77 and Ben Lawrence on row number 20. And your final starters, Sean Dick, Tyson Sturr, Jaden Newson, 43. Ready for action. Colin Warren will be easy to spot even through the darkness in the bright yellow VLR. He's got him at command. And no green. Evidently not under command enough. We'll send them around for attempt number 2. Let's, while they form back up, take a look back at those remaining starters here, see if we can pick out some other big names that'll be having to charge through the field. It's already been proven possible by the senior heavy drivers, the likes of Adam Maxwell, Bryce Frank, Savaglio, picking up a ton of spots from way back. These drivers here we're about to show you, they've got a long road ahead. Brandon Adkins, a veteran in the field, one of the drivers on the upper end of the age bracket for the light class, because you have a lot more of the juniors moving up, being able to make the weight easier in this one and a little bit closer in senior medium. Another team owner in the field, Bobby Krug in the 77's got a long road ahead of him. Owen McCarthy we've seen start to make some moves towards the front of the pack. Jaden Harry as well in the 382 earlier today. Eli Fox, we just watched him in senior heavy. We're also 23rd here in his senior light heat, so long road ahead for the 01. And the GP Factory Fury Kart, or Factory Fury Motorsport driver and pro shifter back from row 12 of a split group of heats. Again, that would have been a 40th plus qualifying effort, unfortunately, for the Indiana native. And then again, the final row with a long road ahead all the way back to Jaden Newson on his lonesome on row 22. Colin Warren on your right in the yellow, Cameron Reed on the left, and the black and orange Reed Motorsports, CRG, under the lights. She won in this exact scenario 1 year ago for the Out of the Box Challenge. You got an easier spot to start from here in heat number 1 at night. Let's see if that CRG comes to life again as we get to the tram lines. Second to last race on the evening for day 1. It's senior light, group A and D. We're on the power and bringing the rumble down to turn 1. Oh, contact further back there a little bit. Looked like it might have got out of shape for a moment in turn 4. It did not. Everyone able to stay on the racetrack all the way till 5. You saw Cameron Reed nearly lose that second spot to Kelvin Zing. She was able to fight her way back to it in the grid corner, turn number 3. And a lot of defensive driving there going into the cell tower. No one wanted to give up a single spot with how close the field is packed up or to go wide. The conditions have certainly gotten a bit trickier here with the dropping temperatures, both with the air temp and of course the surface temp's gonna plummet with no more sunlight baking the racetrack as we see a flurry of blue and white shuffling. Those are teammates. Lucas Theck looked to be Will Lawler, and one more of those PPK Coyotes in the middle. Might have been Aiden Lorenko with not an ideal start for him. Out of the last turn, we'll get a full read of where they all are. It's Colin Warren to Reed, to Zing, and onward to find the likes of James Overbeck. No, Zing up to second, and Eli Warren, Dylan Amundsen fourth and fifth, Quinn, Lawler, Theck, Lorenko, then John Treadwell.
Yeah, so far a fairly tame start here. A little bit of a clackdown for the curbing once again for the third spot, but everybody else just working in the relatively small bubbles right now, trying to find a way to close up some of these gaps to be able to have a chance once again at the race leader. We'll say Amundsen amongst those, able to make some slice and dice moves in the blue machine, able to get up to fourth here. That's going to help close the bridge and close that gap here as Quinn tries to lead the second pack.
He's not going to get much help at all. Will Lawler sends it right back down the inside in the green corner. Quinn shaking his head as he is surrounded and outnumbered by a lot. He'll try to send it back to the inside in the infield hairpin. And unfortunately, a little bit wide. 3 wide now. Lucas Theck thinking better of it, tucking back in. as Ian Quinn ended up washboarding down the edge of the runoff, curbing. And he goes back behind Lawler once again. Lucas Theck paying the price, going back 4. That's Christopher Wakefield, looks like there in the 27, trying to make up spots there. He tucks back in. He's got Braden Zerves, his teammate, behind him. They're trying to work on Josie Chambers, as well as David Barnes in the 302 Prime Power Team Bureau Lard. This is all happening now a good ways back, 2 seconds to be exact, from the lead. Colin Warren has the 5-pack up front. Calm down, leading them with no pressure. Kelvin Zing happy to follow.
Yeah, at this point, you can tell.
Oh!
Drivers like Munson getting the elbows out. How about 3 wide for a moment? And a squeak on by Warren. That lost them a ton of ground, and all of a sudden, what was a 5-6 car pack down to just 2. That is right up Main Street for Warren and Zing to be able to build as they crash.
Henry Wheeler spins around at the exit of the green corner. A big bottleneck and stack up as they were 2 by 2 trying to funnel back down to single file. Henry pays the price. Kudos to Dylan Amundsen, albeit he got in a bit onto the curb and into the side of Cameron Reed. He let her go back in front of him, and now he'll get swallowed by this next group if he's not too careful. Reed trying to charge her way back forward. She was getting no love from the boys up front early. Zing, Warren, and Amundsen all trying moves on her. As they look at this, big moment and a heck of a save for what looked to be, I think that was Lucas Theck. Theck hanging on, hard to pick out the difference of the PPK blue and black Coyotes.
Yeah, things getting a little bit antsy all of a sudden. Did I say it was going to be calm? I think I just struck the commentator's curse, why don't we? It just seems to be that type of night. But all of this as well, those PPKs try to work there. Let's take a look at the replay, though, and what happened on that spark up. You can see just with the deep send, a bit of contact with the side pod, and Wheeler just ends up being the innocent bystander in the checkup.
Yeah, just nowhere to go, right? You got so much momentum coming out of the corner. All the load is on the outside tires, and yeah, just like that, Henry Wheeler ends up going backwards. There was Theck getting a bit of a move there from his teammate in Braden Zerves, who's caught up to him. Here's Will Lawler now closing in on the back of Dylan Amundsen and John Treadwell. Treadwell's gotten around Lawler. The 366 started 12th. Cross flags. Zing's caught back up to Colin Warren, and Cameron Reed is reeling in Eli Warren for the 3rd spot. It'll end up being pairs of 2, and then Dylan Amundsen leading the next trio with Treadwell pushing him along on the Mark Steele Motorsports Stealth Kart. Then Lawler, then a gap to Quinn, Theck, Barnes. And hard to say, it may have been Larenko that got the worst of it instead of Theck. I think Theck was the one on the inside. Larenko with a big save down at turn 1 a lap or 2 ago. For the 29, he runs down in 14th. Up a number of spots for Josie Chambers from going wide. Up a number from the grid spot for Scott Clayman. Eli Warren with help from Cameron Reed's caught and now split up the top 2. First time tonight Kelvin Zing has seen anywhere but either Cameron Reed or Colin Warren in front of him. And the Kentucky native now closes in towards the driver that's led every lap of this opening heat race in Senior Light, but we're getting down to it. 3 to go at the line, 4 drivers in tow. Kelvin Zing 3rd, Cameron Reed 4th, and Colin Warren out in front of the field. Penalty flag again flying from Burgess as they head to turn 1.
And the question's going to be now, which Warren do you like? Do you like Colin, who has the pedigree when it comes to his experience in this event? Or do you like Eli Warren that's got the speed at multiple different divisions that we've seen compete?
And a heat win today already.
Absolutely. So as amongst those, building things up, Wakefield here might have a penalty on
So that's
board.
the man in 10th, Christopher Wakefield. Penalty for the PPK Coyote driver. He's leading middle of the group, and it looks like maybe he was the one that would have been given the penalty for the moment in the green corner here.
And that's going to put them on the back foot after not having the greatest of runs right now in Senior Light. But all this is with the race lead is on. Eli Warren going for the point, takes it away, and scoreboard side by side. Zing falls on through. They keep on squabbling, back and forth they go as Colin Warren gets shuffled down to 3rd.
First time in this entire race. Colin Warren will not be to the timing loop in first. 2 laps to go. 6 in the books. Eli Warren up 4. John Treadwell up 7. Wakefield up provisionally 5, but he's got a penalty headed his way. Braden Zerves is up a couple and up nearly 10 for Scott Clayman from 22nd to 14th. As they roll back to the horseshoe, Warren wants back to the lead. He sends it on Kelvin Zing for second. And now Reed tries to do the same in the infield double right. Can she get past him fully? She cannot. Kelvin's going to hang on in the cell tower. And that'll give Colin a bit of a gap. And the Warrens, no relation, but a perfect opportunity to pull back away. Colin Warren took a quick look over his shoulder. He timed that move perfectly, hoping that they would get antsy behind him for third. They did, and that's just the momentum he needed to try and push Eli away. Here's John Treadwell's group. He's gotten past Dylan Amundsen, and Amundson's going to lose another spot now because of it. Lucas Theck down the inside on the 52. Will Lawler trailing that pack there. He's in the 8th spot. Lucas Theck in the blue and black now leads the PPK Coyotes in this heat race. Only 6th. But it's not over yet. You can see the leaders are still up in front of him, and they could battle at any given time. Eli Warren trying to double up on his heat race win opportunities on the day. Colin Warren trying to maximize his first real shot at a heat race win, albeit he got to that lead group in senior medium. Made quick work of the field from the mid-teens, but he had the prettiest starting spot in the entire senior light division, and now he's got a great spot, a spot where he's very comfortable fighting from. A mano-a-mano fight, riding behind here in second. It's exactly how he won the main last year in senior medium. Here's Theck covering from Treadwell. Good, hard-fought battle for this 4-car group.
Yeah, this is still heating up here. Theck's all over the rear end. This still will be interesting. Up front, things are diving forward as Reed tries to defend back there, all with Eli and Colin Warren making their way through as the rest of the pack fights. Will this be a chance? Yes, it will, side by side.
Colin Warren makes it through. Big send over the curbing there into the shark fin. Takes the lead back from Eli. Eli covered off in the infield hairpin, got crossed up and lost the lead. The fight continues further back, and they'll drag race to the line for the heat race win. Does Eli have enough? I don't think so. It'll get close, but to the line, Colin Warren holds. Eli second, Reed third, Zing fourth, Theck fifth, Treadwell. Look at Braden Zerves side by side to the stripe. That was for 11th. David Barnes hangs on by about 100th. Then Lorenko, Scott Clayman, Carter Kilgo, the top 15. And as the final few hit the loop, we get a full look at the rest of the pack. How about 16 spots up? Jaden Harry from 32nd on the grid to P16, just outside the top 15 on your screen here. Colin Warren over Eli Warren with a last lap crossover move coming out of the infield hairpin to take the win. Cameron Reed third, and she had to fight for it tooth and nail to stay ahead of at least a couple in that lead group. Zing, Theck, Treadwell, Amundsen, Lawler, Quinn. Ian Quinn with probably the quietest race of anyone in that top 10 in the 79. Christopher Wakefield provisionally 10th, has a penalty looming. We're not sure exactly what the damage will be, but it appears to be of incident responsibility. But a good race, good end of the night here for Colin Warren.
Standing by here with Kelvin Zing. Kelvin, looked like you had the speed to be up there with those drivers that finished first and second. Do you feel like you were maybe a little bit too nice out there midway through that race?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. Probably should have made the move. I think when we had passed Colin and I was behind Eli. But other than that, I was wanted to push away. Other than that, pretty happy. Yeah, thanks to Jam Racing, Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Paul Rice at MGM. So yeah, pretty good.
And again, last year when we were sitting here Friday, you had won the senior light heat race. So I believe it was one of the days, either Friday or Saturday.
Exact same race.
What do you need to do, right, to get back up to that spot? You know, do you feel like you just need to make moves? Is that really the only thing?
Yeah, small thing. I think I'm just a little too timid sometimes. Just got to be a little more aggressive. Elbows out.
There you go. Thank you, Kelvin. I wish him the best of luck tomorrow.
And he's right about that. Aggression is key, but truthfully, when you talk to some of the best drivers, it's the strategic aggression, realizing when the tension starts to build around the drivers that you're in the pack with and making the move at the right time. Colin Warren could have gone to the lead at any given point once he fell back. When he realized that the tempo was right at that perfect moment, that Cameron Reed would be itching to get a shot back at him or anyone in that main group, he took it to get by Kelvin, and that's what allowed the gap to open back up. And then again, just 2 corners later, he took that look over the shoulder, realized the gap that he and Eli had, took his time, pushed Eli away, made sure it was a 2-kart battle. Christopher McKeithen and Isaac Malcutt would love to have that happen to them as well. They start from the front row here for the final heat race on the day. Mitchell Morrow and Jackson Young on row number 2.
Shane Reddy starts in row 3 alongside Cale Zimmerman. Then it's Logan Patska, who had some issues in the morning session where the kart vibrated from damage. Cade Yeager starts next to them inside the top 8. Dylan White, by the way, in 9th spot. And Addison Ianello amongst your top 10 starters.
Lucas Noguera starts on the inside of Logan Ploder. It's Major Makovskis with a big lap out of the slow group, starting on the inside of Adam Maxwell. Owen Lloyd, Connor Baker for an all-MGM, row number 8. Diego Ramos from further back on row 9 with Jake Sessler, Braden Heber, Reagan Seville, row number 10. Here's a look at the second page of starters. Nagisa Yoshikawa, Sebastian Day, Kevin King, Alex Murray, Jaden Casas, Jack Grote, and back to Jonah Good and Joseph Hewitt with big names up in front of them, and a final few to start. Pierre-Edouard Cholet, Ryan Croker, Adrian Sibbett, 43 deep for the final time this evening. Let's go to Jason Burgess, and can we get the green on the first time? I don't think we will. We have one driver stalled on the far backside, one of the Beryl Arts, trying to get refired in the grass. Here comes the marshal to see. It looks like the motor's back underway. And a heartbreak there for a moment, and a big heart in your stomach drop. Saved by the bell, though, as Jason will send them back around to try for attempt number 2. That should allow that driver to get at least pretty close to where they're set to start. McKeithen on the blue and black. Isaac Malcutt easy to spot there with the all-white suit. Black helmet will be a little bit tough to see, but then the bright red Mark Steel Motorsports colors makes up for it in the 75. He'll be on the outside of the row. That's the 333 machine. Had the stall there coming to the green.
Yeah, and that would be Samuel Dow you're referring to in the Burrell Art machine. It looks like they will not get the chance really to restack up there, but the rest of the field will get the chance to roll through I-70 and get doubled up and ready to rumble for the tram lines.
So let's try this one more time. And one more race on the evening. Little sizzle on the outside. And now a 2-time Grand Nats champ and a 2-time Canadian champ, Christopher McKeithen, on the inside in the blue. We're ready for one more race on the evening. The officials trying to keep them nice and slow. And it looks like this one will be a crawl down the lanes. Looking to Jason Burgess for that final confirmation that we're good. And it is indeed a good start. We're green for the final time tonight here on Friday. Far from the best start for McKeithen. He'll drop back 3 spots, it looks like, here on this opening circuit. Great start, on the other hand, for rookie Jackson Young. Only the first of a couple starts so far on a Coyote. He's got to come under pressure from Cale Zimmerman, though, to the inside on the VLR for second. They'll duke it out at the exit of this corner here, as will the rest of the field. You saw a full pack 2 and 3 wide. Zimmerman moving forward to P2. Malcutt with the lead, and a long train of go-karts through your top 10 or so. And we'll have to wait for where that group gets split up. Maybe here, Big Sen, teammates, side by side. McKeithen to the inside of Wakefield, who goes off the racetrack. He brings it back on. He'll lose about 10 spots in that exchange. And look at the gap now. Cale Zimmerman's got a chance to make it a 2-horse race here as he closes up to Malcutt.
Yeah, already a wild start, and it's going to be pretty interesting since a majority of your front runners are a part of the same group or chassis make. That's going to make the dynamic much more difficult for some of those drivers to make up some of the ground unless they really work together as a unit and pick off drivers one by one as they pass by the non-chassis makes. That's easier said than done to try and make a pass when it's 3, 4, 5 cars deep. what the potential that possibility is here for some of these drivers. McKeithen, again, the first of those, the PPK's machines, for example. Some of the drivers are trying to make the moves like Reddy to fall on behind.
Yeah, there we go. Shane Reddy on the charge. He'll send the 383 of Mitchell Morrow back about 4. Trying to find a gap here. He's going to end up side by side with the 141 of Adam Maxwell, who rips the high side to pick up a spot there, and also looking to pick the pieces up to 72. One of the Roderick Racing Development at Coyote entries. Looking forward. That's Dylan White there, it looks like. And now, as we pick them back up, here's Addison Iannello in the mix in the 41. Another Coyote also, or the 46, sorry. To the line for Malquit in the 75. Sparks flying as one driver dropped a right rear tire off the edge of the circuit coming down the straight. We check back in here further. Owen Lloyd going to work in this senior light heat race. He's on the tail of one of the Sessler brothers. That's Jake in the 42 black and white GFC. So up to 13th after going back a few spots on the opening lap, but we'll keep an eye on the perennial front runner. He triple podiumed here last year. First driver in history to do so, and got a win to boot. And now he's getting closer to the win as we get a lead change. Cale Zimmerman takes over here in the Cell Tower hairpin.
That VLR able to find a way to poke on by. We've seen the VLR machines have really good speed all throughout this weekend so far. Some of the others making some dives. How about Loader making the way through? How about more defensive moves? 2x2, a couple rows deep.
Yeah, Logan Ploder sending Shane Reddy to the Wolves. Brought Addison Iannello with him. Following Addison also. Is that Kate Yeager? Indeed it is, in that signature black and yellow and green. The 64 moving up a spot along with his teammate. Penalty flags flying down the front stretch. Who do we got for that one for? I'll have to wait and find out. You saw Lloyd, he's already gotten by Sessler. Now he's clocked on to the back of the group here. Dylan White's next up on the chopping block for Owen. And meanwhile, Isaac Malquit, while we checked back, he took the lead back. Cale Zimmerman back to second. Third still is McKeithen. Following tightly there. Where indeed, as Christopher McKeithen's teammate in Christopher Wakefield fallen. Oh man, big move there for McKeithen down the inside, but Christopher Wakefield off that moment from earlier.
Well done the running order, I think, at the very least. I can tell you that much. But right now, McKeithen is having some chance to go on the move. More battles back and forth as Maxwell gets past. McKeithen, we know, likes to lead the race. He likes to be in control. He takes the lead on the scoreboard yet again, all while Zimmerman is forced in a bad spot. Potentially could fall into the top 3, if not the top 5, if he's not careful. How about side by side for the cut through for some contact?
Ploder into the side of Zimmerman, and Zimmerman comes to a halt in the final turn. Cale Zimmerman from leading and turning to the hero to make a VLR sweep of the senior light heats. Goes to 0, broken left front tie rod on the number 5, and the darkness seeps in here. Now McKeithen, the ultimate opportunist, picks up the pieces to go to the lead. Malquit to second. Big gap back to Adam Maxwell in the 141. Where did he come from? A slow charge has turned into a massive run for Adam. This is 11 spots, no, 12 spots up for Adam Maxwell in the 141. Then it's Addison Iannello. She's also up nearly 10. And then Cade Yeager from 8th backwards, then back forward. And the 64 makes 3 deep here. And look who's up to 6th. Did you have any doubts? Owen Lloyd picked up 2 more through that. And the South Georgia Karting MGM is now the leader of the 3rd group, with Mitchell Morrow in tow, trying to charge towards the next pack. He can almost see him and almost taste the draft. It'll be 3 to go this time. So we take a look at the replay here on the side-by-side cam. Check this one out. Zimmerman side-by-side with Ploder, who sends it to stay alongside him on the curbing, or not even on the curbing, on the grass a little bit. Meatball flag coming for one driver down the front straightaway as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but normally you don't go side-by-side to the cut through to 17 and 18. No one has really attempted that today, and that's kind of the risk that you see when you try and force it side-by-side like that.
And it's a quick reaction too. I mean, you're coming out of the shark fin thinking you have a chance to get past someone or fend them off from completing a pass on you, and you have to make that split-second decision. Neither driver wanted to give. And Ploder lost, obviously, a good amount of spots, but the big loser being Cale Zimmerman. Here's a look at all the net movers from it. Lloyd up 8, Maxwell up 12, 7 up for Addison Ianello, albeit now only 6 as Cade Yeagers passed her up for that 4th position. He himself now finds himself a net gain of 4, and that one move is going to bring Owen Lloyd closer. Shane Reddy now moving into the 7th spot, try and regain some ground. How about Reagan Seville along with Jake Sessler? The Wicked supported and Trackside Karting Services supported GFCs are up to 9th and 10th on the field, both nearly up full double digits. And now it's time for the double sticks to go in the air from Jason. 2 more laps on the evening. McKeithen leads over Malquit. Little gap to Adam Maxwell. It is coming down, though. 10th and a quarter. Give the nod to the 141 and his crew. They are closing the margin from 1.3 to 1.1 seconds. They need a move up front. Malquit does not want to give it to him.
The AMAX camp, well known in this region when it comes to the club scene. They usually bring out dozens of drivers to tracks like MCC to be able to showcase they can work as a unit. One of the Coyote chassis being able to do well, working with a fellow Coyote, although with a different team, to close up this gap together. Now it's the question, is there going to be enough time? It's going to be difficult from how big the margin is already, 1 second, but we've seen gaps go down pretty quickly here today, and this could be down to the battle of 1 Steel and 3 Coyotes.
Let's see it. Adam Maxwell closing in. This was a big lap for him. He'll get a big toe off the back of Malquit and Wakefield. And how quickly can Cade Yeager get back to his bumper down the straight? Cade took a look over both shoulders. Addison Ianello running 5th. Lloyd trying to hunt her down for that spot. Continue to build on his night after an abysmal qualifying effort in both classes. But he's made up for it in spades. Reagan Seville is now up 12 spots, by the way, from 20th. He just got by Mitchell Morrow for the 8th position. He's hunting down Shane Reddy. Penalty looming, sadly, though, for the 600. Seville's got a post-race penalty headed his way. Up front, still no move yet for the lead for Malquit. There's the move for Lloyd. He'll get 5th away from Ianello. Shane Reddy looking on, then Seville, then Morrow, and a gap to Sessler.
Now it's the question now, will Malquit go for the cut once again through scoreboard? That's been the most active spot in this race. He has taken a poke. Defensive line McKeithen. McKeithen hugs the inside. Opens up the door for Maxwell to go for 2nd. They've now caught up. Maxwell instead gets passed by Yeager, forced out of the gas. They make their way through the cut through for the final time.
McKeithen's got them all at bay. He's held him here as long as he could. Final run to the line. Does he get the help? Does Malquit get it? Ike to the outside. Drag race to the line. McKeithen by 26 thousandths. Cade Yeager 3rd. Adam Maxwell 4th. Owen Lloyd up to 5th. And the charge continues on the day for the South Georgia Karting MGM driver from 14th and from 15th again. Big kudos for Adam Maxwell to get as high as P3. Ianello, Reddy, Seville provisionally 8th, albeit with a penalty looming. Mitchell Morrow, and here issues as well for the number 2 of Austin Speck. The MGM pulls to the infield grass to a disappointing halt. He joins the likes of Declan Black, Jaden Krause, and Cale Zimmerman as early exits from Heat 1 for Groups B and C in Senior Light. But Christopher McKeithen supreme over Malquit and Yeager as a youthful top 3 amongst the experienced drivers behind him, and Adam Maxwell and Owen Lloyd. And here's a look at the rest of your field as the night rolls into the scale line.
Standing by here with Isaac Malquit, just short across the line there. Ike, tell me about that race for you, just short of a heat race victory. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. The goal was just to get a good finish. So, yeah, I mean, kind of happy with the result. You know, it's just a heat race, so all I want to do is finish. Yeah, we're very fast. We definitely have very good pace, and I think we're going to be good.
Tell me about this first year racing for you in senior, right? You started in Daytona at Kart Week, and now we're at the end of it. Do you feel like you finally kind of earned your respect, earned your stripes in the senior class?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people respect me, but there's also others that don't respect me. So it's just like I've understood that senior, some people are like, respectful, and some people just aren't. So yeah.
Let's talk about the racetrack here tonight, because you didn't drive in the morning, but what did you kind of notice, right? You talked about Christopher, you getting tight throughout the race. What were you feeling out there with, the cooler temperatures here at night?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really feel that much of a difference. Honestly, I felt really good. And yeah, I think the pace is very good, but at night, I didn't really notice a difference. So yeah.
Best of luck tomorrow, Ike. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, first day in the books from Newcastle Motorsports Park for the 9th running of the CKNA Grand Nationals. Justin, I'll be honest, this one was a bit tame. So I don't know what your instant reaction is to that, but this was definitely a bit on the easier start or easier day of a CKNA Grand Nats day when it comes to the on-track action.
We did have some intense moments in the midst of some of the calmness. We did have a red flag at one point even from an incident, but I will say this, the action was exciting. A lot of storylines already being crafted, especially when it comes to senior medium, potentially with Colin Warner amongst those having some issues in the early going for the day with the incident that happened, a part of those storylines. And of course, this evening session with Robertson, Christopher McKeithen looking to show strides in multiple different classes. It's been an impressive night, to say the very least. And now it's the question, how will people build upon their heat later on as we look at your Coastal Inc. recap?
We raced from morning through the fog to the sunset to sundown. And like you said, yeah, there were definitely some intense moments here on the night and on the day overall. Hope you all have enjoyed the coverage. This is only day number 1 from the CKNA Grand Nationals. The grills will be going. There'll be smoke coming later. Hopefully no more clutches. At least they shouldn't be, because the action, well, it was intense, but it's over for now. We'll be back tomorrow morning, first thing, with warm-ups for the morning groups and 2 more rounds of heats for them, and then back at it again in the afternoon, the night show, and the Briggs Out of the Box Challenge to close it off. For Justin Prince, Caleb Viesca, myself, Xander Clements, the KC crew, and CKNA officials, see you tomorrow night.
This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the expressed written consent of Kart Chaser Group. This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the expressed written consent of Kart Chaser Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.